How much money do builders actually make?
Builders make a lot of money. We can build generational wealth. We can also destroy generational wealth which we inherit. The corruption at managing committee level in a society redevelopment, it is at its all-time peak.
What is the best real estate investment to make in Mumbai?
सबसे बेस्ट है 150 फुट 100 फुट की खोली ले लो. स्लम से बेहतर कुछ इन्वेस्टमेंट ही नहीं है. वो एक वोट बैंक है. स्लम को कभी नाराज किया नहीं जाता है.
Has black money in real estate gone away?
यार, will prostitution ever go away? Black money should stay within the country. Then there is no problem.
How much corruption is there in real estate?
Corruption is good for real estate. You can't have the easier home buyer than a Mumbai home buyer. He is the most tolerating guy because his limited expectation is कि boss मेरे को घर दे दो.
Why do you think people hate builders so much? Is there any segment of the population that actually likes builders?
I think the bankers love builders.
What's the type of bribes you guys pay?
I would have loved if it would have been a per square foot basis.
Has that risen or has it remained the same or fallen?
It'll never remain the same.
In today's episode, I'll be talking to an academic turned developer, Harshul Savla of Suvidha Lifespaces. He's a man who's been awarded 7 degrees, has authored 24 books, and is now a rising developer in the Mumbai metropolitan region. He talks to me about the dark secrets of Mumbai real estate. What's the best investment in Mumbai real estate? Can Mumbai become affordable? How much corruption is really there? But before I talk to him, a big thanks to Zerodha01 Network for supporting this video. And now, let's talk to him.
So thank you, Harshul, for coming on. You're the most qualified guest that's ever come on my show. I think you've got 7 degrees, law, MBA, PhD, and above PhD there's DLit. Okay. So tell me, if somebody with his background, why does he become a builder?
No, so I think real estate was natural to me. I'm a third generation real estate developer. But there are 3 theories that I have why one becomes a developer, because every 10 years there are new 1,000 developers which add in the industry across the country. So first theory is because monarchy is abolished. So you want to feel like a king. So people want to enter the game. The second theory that I principally have is, in the past life, there are many karmas that you've done. So you want to repent for your sin, you enter this particular trade because the amount of grind that you go, and it's really like an iceberg. You go through the grind, you feel that the problems are so small. And as soon as you enter into the project and you keep going ahead with it, there's a whole big mountain of snow which is lying in front of you, which needs to be tracked. Thirdly, I principally believe one becomes a developer when one has failed into Bollywood and you love acting, because you have to act in front of every stakeholder differently. You act in front of home buyer differently. You act in front of the government, your approving authorities differently. In front of vendors, it's full violence and full action movie that goes on, because you have to get work done from your contractors and architects and interior team. So there is a different role play with each stakeholder that you have. So I think it's that acting bug which is there, which has not got released in Bollywood, gets into the real estate.
So everybody who's a builder has to put on many faces, right?
Many faces. Dashavatar. So there are 10 different roles that you have to play.
Why is that?
So because you can't talk the same language, you can't behave the same with every stakeholder. I'll give you an example. When you are working on site with the contractors, I mean, the lethargy on the side needs to be channelized with that vibe, with that action which needs to be brought in. When you're talking with the banker, you need to give the world is such a good place, everything's going right, everything will fall right kind of place. With home buyers, buy today is the right time. Otherwise, the prices are going to go exponentially high. Everything, the world is going to change. Mumbai is turning into Dubai, and suddenly now rates will triple up, etc. With the government authorities, there are no margins left in the business. There is absolutely, we are down to the skeleton now. Please at least grant us approvals, etc. So there's a very different pitch that you have to really make each time you sit out with the professionals and consultants, and be a little reasonable in terms of what you are charging. The cash flows have to be balanced, etc., etc. So I think the pitch cannot be the same. The tone cannot be the same. The way you put out things has to be different with each stakeholder.
Okay. You said one point ki बायर को हमेशा बताना पड़ता है कि अभी ले लो नहीं तो प्राइस बढ़ जाएगा. व्हाट्स योर फंडामेंटल व्यू व्हेन इट कम्स टू होम प्राइसेस? एक तो नैरेटिव है कि होम प्राइसेस का डायरेक्शन एक ही रहता है, ठीक है, फिर ऊपर जाता है. आई नो मोस्ट पीपल डोंट बिलीव दैट हु आर इन द ट्रेड, बट दैट्स अ स्क्रिप्ट नाउ इन अ वे. What's your fundamental view when it comes to home prices?
I'll not talk real estate. Let me give you a different example. Automobile industry. What's your view? Will car prices fall? Have they ever fallen? A Creta which was for 12 lakhs or 15 lakhs is available for 25 lakhs. Why is it so? Because in an automobile, to make a car, there are 80 components that goes. There is inflation. The pricing of these 80 components is increasing continuously. There is new features, new tech getting added, etc. And which is why the car prices keep rising. So if you track the car pricing index or different cars, their prices in the last 10 years have increased continuously, and it will increase also in future. You don't see car prices reducing ever. Now look at another product, which is a home. Instead of 80 industries, now you have 400 industries coming together to put up that product. So you have actually 5 times the number of industries which contribute to make, and there are MSMEs and all of these kind of features, right from your paint to your door to your flooring. There are 400 industries at play over here. And if you are tracking the stock market, each of these ancillaries are doing really well. All their prices are over the roof. Why? Because they are making good amount of money. There is price rise which has happened over there. So what is a developer? Developer is doing a markup on the aggregated price of these 400 industries, what they contribute. And then he's putting a 10%, 20% margin and trying to sell a product. We have so many projects right now in the market, and each micro market is as good as what Mumbai used to earlier have. So one micro market is the strength of entire Mumbai today presently. So it's a very demand supply driven pricing dynamic which is going on. So the pricing is well evolved. My view is because there are 400 industries contributing to the pricing quotient, I don't see it falling in that sense. But if the increase is not beating the inflation, then notionally it is actually falling.
But then for these smaller components that are there, they sell a ready unit. Okay. For a builder, he is selling under construction. Usko paisa chahiye. At some point, if there is all these big chains that you for paints, doors, the number of companies are limited. Even automobiles, right? There are 10 companies, but strong companies.
Correct.
Builders, they are not 10. As per last numbers that I keep seeing, there's some 50,000 to 1 lakh builders that are there. So does that comparison really hold true, sir?
So it's principally because, see, although whether you get money at the end of the product being made or whether you are getting small bits of monies while you are making the product, there is no major discount that you get from the vendors for the payment getting, because these 400 components get attached to your project at different timelines. So they don't all come together in the end. So as and when whoever is doing their job, they are getting paid. So in a way, you are getting from the customer what you have to pay forward link. So if you see any real estate project, say for example, if the project cost is 1,000 crores and if say the sale is 1,300 crores, the peak cash flow that the developer has to invest is 200 crores only of his own. Beyond 200 crores, it's all customer accruals that comes. But then that gets forward moved to the vendors, which has to go. In a way, he's the escrow account for the vendors. And we had the issues where, the money was floating into acquisition of some other assets, etc. But that is now all well taken care of due to RERA and numerous regulations that are there. So my view is, because of multiplicity of your industries that exist, you won't see a scenario. Also, if you see average Indian household, 40 to 50% of their net worth is the real estate that they own. And no one wants to sell cheap. Why gold price is rising so much? People are not selling. People are buying. So, they sell real estate as a very last resort kind of a thing. People are very emotionally attached to the real estate they own. They will buy a new real estate, but they won't sell it so easily unless things are really desperate or they really need that big chunk. They will probably leverage it. They'll probably lease it, but not sell it.
Why do you think in India एक mindset है कि अगर मैंने घर 1 करोड़ का लिया है, if it becomes 95 lakhs मैं बेचूंगा नहीं. I'll wait for it for 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. It goes above 1 crore, then only I sell it. In stock markets, it is easily, people accept a loss. In real estate, ऐसा क्यों नहीं है?
बिकॉज सी इन रियल एस्टेट ना आप घर को मॉर्गेज भी कर सकते हो, आप घर को भाड़े पे भी दे सकते हो। अगर आपको इनकम ही कुछ रेस करनी है तो देर आर मल्टीपल वेज जिसमें आप वो कर सकते हो। बट स्टॉक मार्केट का ऐसा है ना, जट मंगनी तट ब्या, आज मैं इधर से निकला, मेरे को एक टिप आई, दूसरे में घुस गया। तो ये दो अनकंपेरेबल एसेट क्लासेस है। आज पीक ऑफ कोविड में भी ऐसा हो गया था कि स्टॉक एकदम डिप हो जाता है, बट जब रियल एस्टेट आता है वो एक इट्स लाइक अ स्टडी एलिफेंट, ये हाथी के जैसा है, स्लो चलता है लेकिन स्टडी चलता है और ये मेंटेन रहता है। और एशियन माइंडसेट अगर आप देखेंगे, सिर्फ इंडिया की बात नहीं, आप एशिया की कोई भी कंट्री की बात देखेंगे, तो रियल एस्टेट हैज ऑलवेज बीन अ सेफ हेवन फॉर पीपल। वो माइंडसेट ही नहीं है कि मैं भाड़े पे रहूं, मैं भाड़े पे ये करूं वो करूं। लोग अभी भी देखते हैं मैं इतना रेंट दे देता हूं, लैंडलॉर्ड को झेलता हूं, उससे अच्छा बहुत इजी रहेगा दैट आई विल buy an asset and be my own king of that particular asset. So it's a prestige which is attached to the asset that you own, principally.
You said about stock markets and the comparison in a way. They aren't quite comparable. Looking at investments in real estate, what is the best real estate investment to make in Mumbai?
सबसे बेस्ट है ये 150 फुट 100 फुट की खोली ले लो। Today, entire South Mumbai has these chawls which are there. They are all going in cluster. Cluster 33/9 के अंदर ये सीधा 150 फुट 600 फुट बन जाता है 4 टाइम्स। तो नेटवर्थ मल्टीप्लाई करना है, इंटरजनरेशनल वेल्थ बनाना है, और ये 150 फुट की खोली आपको मिल जाएगी 50 लाख में। 40 खोली के बीच में देयर इज वन वॉशरूम विच इज देयर। So these kind of chawls exist rampantly in South Mumbai. Buy these rooms in these chawls. Wait for the redevelopment. They'll by default go in redevelopment because these buildings are 100 years old, 80 years old. You won't even need a JCB to break these buildings. Merely by a push, these buildings will fall. And they are all going in clusters. Government बहुत strongly cluster development promote कर रहा है, very rightly. Right move by the government. एक acre is merely required.
What is cluster redevelopment?
Good question. So cluster, हम एज अ लेमैन क्या सोचते हैं कि 10-15 बिल्डिंग रिक्वायर्ड है, उसका मीनिंग क्लस्टर है। नहीं, गवर्नमेंट जो तरीके से क्लस्टर को डिफाइन करती है, अगर 1 एकड़ जमीन है, 4000 मीटर, 50,000 फुट की आपकी अगर प्लॉट एरिया है, और अगर वो एक ही प्लॉट भी है तो भी वो क्लस्टर में जाता है। क्लस्टर में एफएसआई बेनिफिट्स, प्रीमियम बेनिफिट्स इतने ज्यादा है कि आपकी एक 150 फुट की रूम 600 कारपेट बन जाती है, 4 गुना मिल जाता है, और उसमें डेवलपर की जेब से कुछ नहीं जा रहा है, वो रेगुलेशन प्रोवाइड करता है। सो द बेस्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट टिप फॉर एनीवन टुडे वुड बी बाय दीज रूम्स विच आर वर्थ 50 lakhs। 50 लाख में क्या ही मिल जाएगा आपको, वो आपका 2.5 करोड़ का एसेट बन जाएगा। 5 टाइम्स मिनिमम 2 करोड़ का तो बन जाता है। आज 50,000 से 40,000 रुपया भाव किधर नहीं गया साउथ बॉम्बे में। 40,600 स्क्वायर फुट 2.5 करोड़, दैट्स द वैल्यूएशन, और आज मिल जाएगा आपको 50-60 लाख में। तो 4 गुना पैसा बन सकता है। इट्स अ मल्टी बैगर, जैसे स्टॉक मार्केट में बोला जाता है। सेकंड बेस्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट इज स्लम्स खरीदो। स्लम से बेहतर कुछ इन्वेस्टमेंट ही नहीं है, क्योंकि वो एक वोट बैंक है। स्लम को कभी नाराज किया नहीं जाता है। एक बार टैक्स पेयर को नाराज कर देंगे, स्लम को कभी नाराज नहीं करेंगे। तो स्लम अगर आप खरीद के रखते हो, चाहे वो पीटीसी हो, पीएपी हो, उसके बेनिफिट्स मिलने ही मिलने। बट अगेन इट विल नॉट आउटबीट व्हाट क्लस्टर कैन प्रोवाइड। तो क्लस्टर तो एक जादू की छड़ी है। साउथ बॉम्बे में इतने पुराने मकान, चॉल्स अवेलेबल है। लोग छोड़ छोड़ के अंधेरी जा रहे, परेल जा रहे, बोरीवली जा रहे, दहीसर जा रहे। वापस समय आ गया है, साउथ मुंबई आ जाओ, कोस्टल रोड आ गया है, दैट हैज चेंज द गेम। आप पहुंच सकते हो अभी तो बैंड्रा 15 मिनट में साउथ बॉम्बे से, तो उधर आ जाओ और आपका सीधा 50-60 लाख 2.5 करोड़ हो जाएगा।
तो बेसिकली आप रेकमेंड कर रहे हैं कि लोग को खोली लेना है या स्लम?
100%।
Those are the best real estate investments.
एब्सोल्यूट बेस्ट। ये सब 5 स्टार में बोलते हैं डेटा सेंटर लो, रीट में पैसा डालो, सीनियर लिविंग करो, को वर्किंग करो, को लिविंग करो। आप खेलोगे 8% से 12% में। यहां मैं बात कर रहा हूँ 4x की। दूसरा एक बहुत ही बड़ा एसेट मल्टीप्लायर है। आपको ये सब खोली और ये सब नहीं समझता, आपको थोड़ा ज्यादा पैसा डालना है। यू कैन लुक एट पुटिंग मनी इन अ बिल्डिंग विच इज गोइंग फॉर रीडेवलपमेंट। आज रीडेवलपमेंट से बड़ा नेटवर्थ मल्टीप्लायर कोई नहीं है। लोगों ने अपने लाइफ टाइम के बिजनेस में पैसा नहीं कमाया उतना रीडेवलपमेंट एक बिल्डिंग जाती है। आज क्या चल रहा है ऑफर? 100% एक्स्ट्रा एरिया, 5,000 रुपया कॉर्पस, ऑलमोस्ट 200 रुपया रेंट। तो ये टाइप के ऑफर्स, और आपको अगर कम से कम टाइम देके आप में थोड़ी लीडरशिप कैपेबिलिटी या थोड़ा पॉलिटिक्स खेल सकते हो अच्छे से सोसाइटी लेवल का, तो आप तो सेक्रेटरी बन जाओ। उससे ज्यादा पैसा तो कोई बिजनेस में नहीं है।
क्यों?
एक हाउसिंग सोसाइटी का सेक्रेटरी और चेयरमैन बनने में या मैनेजिंग कमेटी का पार्ट बनने में जो पैसा है, एक पूरा आर्टिकल आया था अभी रिसेंटली न्यूज़पेपर में कि पूरा मैनेजिंग कमेटी अब्रॉड जा रहा है, उनको गाड़ियां मिल रही है, ये मिल रही है। इट्स ऑल फैक्चुअल। द करप्शन एट मैनेजिंग कमिटी लेवल इन अ सोसाइटी रीडेवलपमेंट, इट इज एट इट्स ऑल टाइम पीक। ये स्टार्टअप, शार्क टैंक इंडिया, ये यूनिकॉर्न्स, इनका कुछ नहीं है। दे आर ऑल बच्चूज इन फ्रंट ऑफ अ सेक्रेटरी एंड चेयरमैन एंड मैनेजिंग कमिटी ऑफ अ सोसाइटी रीडेवलपमेंट. द पावर they hold is more than a member of parliament also today. That is the amount of outreach that because land in Mumbai is so scarce. Redevelopment is only the right model which is being adopted by developers. So societies which exist today और उनकी जो मैनेजिंग कमिटी रहती है और खास करके उनके जो सेक्रेटरी, चेयरमैन वगैरह जो ऑफिस बेरर्स रहते हैं, द पावर दैट दे होल्ड टू स्विंग द पीपल, द पावर दैट दे होल्ड टू अवॉर्ड रीडेवलपमेंट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, और उसमें अपफ्रंट कॉस्ट कुछ ज्यादा नहीं रहता है। वही लैंड अगर आप खरीदने जाओगे तो कुछ 50 करोड़ 100 करोड़ लग जाएंगे। मैनेजिंग कमिटी और ये तो 10-15 करोड़ में तो खुश हो जाएगी आप, मतलब यू विल बिकम द बेस्ट डेवलपर ऑफ इंडिया टुडे।
बिल्डर्स इतने अच्छे ऑफर अभी रीडेवलपमेंट में क्यों दे रहे हैं?
यार ये प्रॉब्लम ऐसी है ना दैट हमारा जो ब्लड ग्रुप है वो बी पॉजिटिव है। हम हर चीज ऑप्टिमिस्टिकली देखते हैं, हम हर चीज ऐसे ही देखते हैं कि ये कब गिरने वाली नहीं है। हमें लगता ही नहीं विंटर आने वाला है, हमें लगता है समर ही कंटिन्यू होने वाला है। उस वजह से हो क्या जा रहा है कि, और हम वन अप करने में जाते, वही प्लॉट जब मुझे दिखाया जाता है और कोई बिल्डर नहीं रहता है ना, तो मुझे लगता है ठीक ही है, चलो कर लेते। बट मुझे अगर ये बोल देता है ब्रोकर कि भाई ये प्लॉट को है ना 4 बिल्डर ने ये ऑफर दे दिए, पता नहीं मेरी बॉडी में क्या हो जाता है, मैं सडनली ऑफिस जाता हूँ, मैं बोलता है 4 ने ये दिया, चल मैं ये दे देता हूँ, और ये हो जाता है। मैं इतना पढ़ा लिखा हूँ, ये सब किया हूँ, लेकिन फिर भी कर देता हूँ। तो आई थिंक देयर इज समवेयर दिस थिंग दैट, वो है ना विराट कोहली का एक प्रॉब्लम था, ऑफ की बॉल टच ही करते जाता, 10 बार आउट हो गया, फिर रिटायर कर गया। तो हमें छोड़ देना चाहिए, क्योंकि किसी बिल्डर ने एक ऑफर दे दी उस प्लॉट पे, उसके लिए मुझे कूदना वो जरूरी नहीं है। आई थिंक क्रिकेट में जो बोलते हैं वेल लेफ्ट, वो हम एज अ डेवलपर को सीखना चाहिए कि हाँ ठीक है भाई, ये नहीं बढ़ने वाला है, मेरे हिसाब से ये छोड़ देना चाहिए। जिस दिन एज अ इंडस्ट्री, एज अ डेवलपर, या मैं खुद भी वेल लेफ्ट बोलना सीख जाऊंगा ना, तो आई थिंक एवरीथिंग विल फॉल इन प्लेस। प्रॉब्लम ये हो रही है कि हर बॉल पे हम छक्का मारने जा रहे हैं, जबकि कोई बॉल ऐसी भी रहती है, T20 में भी डॉट बॉल होते हैं, क्योंकि हर बॉल को मारना जरूरी नहीं है। तो आई थिंक हमें वो मोड में जाना चाहिए जहां पे हमको एक सिंपल वर्ड है जिसका नाम है नो। नो बोलना चालू करना चाहिए। डेवलपर के मुंह से नो निकलता ही नहीं है, यही सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है। पूरी इंडस्ट्री की इशू ये हो गई है कि वो यस ही बोलते रह रहा है, हर चीज को यस बोल रहा है। तो आई थिंक दैट नीड्स टू बी द स्टार्ट पॉइंट, दैट नो आई विल नॉट डू दिस, नो आई कैन नॉट डू दिस, नो आई विल नॉट गिव दिस पर्टिकुलर ऑफर। आई थिंक ये ना सुनने की आदत सामने वाले को हो नहीं रही, क्योंकि बिल्डर ना बोल नहीं रहा है। अब जब बिल्डर ना बोलना चालू करेगा ना, आई थिंक ऑल स्टेक होल्डर्स विल फॉल इन इट्स प्लेस।
सो व्हाट्स द एंड गेम इन दिस? अगर 15 साल पहले भी मैंने ऐसे ऑफर्स देखे थे, बहुत सी बिल्डिंग्स जिनको ये ऑफर मिला था आज भी कंप्लीट नहीं है। विल वी सी अ सिमिलर सिनेरियो व्हेन पीपल आर मेकिंग सच ग्रैंड बिड्स, 100% एक्स्ट्रा एरिया, 120% एक्स्ट्रा एरिया, 140% एक्स्ट्रा एरिया? एक बिल्डिंग मैंने देखी है बैंड्रा में जहां ऑफर इज गॉन अबव 150%. Is this financially feasible and practical for most of them?
ये ऐसा है ना, आई टेल यू, स्पोर्ट्स में, ओलंपिक्स में रिले रेस करके एक स्पोर्ट होता है। रियल एस्टेट इंडस्ट्री में रिले रेस खेलना हम सीख चुके हैं। तो अगर मेरे को लग रहा है ले पाता हूं मैं ये पर्टिकुलर चीज, बट मैं कर नहीं पाता हूं, तो मैं रिले में बैटन आगे वाले को देके वो उसको बोलता हूँ कर ले तू, शायद मेरी कैपेबिलिटी है इसको ले पाना, मुझे पता है लेने के वक्त मैं कर तो नहीं पाऊंगा, बट आई नो समवन हु कैन डू दिस इवन विद दीज नंबर्स। तो मैं अब उसको बोलूंगा कि भाई ये है मेरे पास, बहुत बढ़िया चीज है, इट्स एट अ फैंटास्टिक AAA+ लोकेशन, AAA साइज प्लॉट, रैम्प बैठता है, ऐसी बिल्डिंग बनती है, शायद मेरी कैपेबिलिटीज नहीं है। अब वही हमारे गोल्डन मैनेजिंग कमिटी हमको सपोर्ट कर देंगे इसमें, और मैं एक ऐसे आदमी को लेके आता हूँ जो ये सब पॉसिबल कर देता है। पहले वाला जो दौर था ना, उसमें वो एक ईगो वाज ड्राइविंग इट कि मैं ही बनाऊंगा, मैं किसको दूंगा नहीं, वो वाला अब ईगो इंडस्ट्री में रहा नहीं है। सो आई थिंक वी ऑल हैव लर्नड दैट यू नो इट्स ओके, माय कैपेबिलिटीज, माय स्ट्रेंथ, माय कोर एरिया is to do this particular things. I will do this. For forward, this is the guy who possibly cannot do the things that I am doing, but he can do the things which I cannot do very well, and he has the financial muscle. उसके पास बैलेंस शीट है, उसके पास एबिलिटी है, उसके पास कस्टमर डिमांड है, उसके पास कस्टमर्स भी है, और उसके पास कस्टमर्स अक्रॉस इंडिया है, उसके पास ग्लोबल कस्टमर्स है जो ये खरीद लेंगे, क्योंकि बाकी फंडामेंटली तो सब चीज सही है, प्लॉट भी सही है, साइज अच्छा है, लोकेशन अच्छा है, हर चीज सही है, खाली मैं इंडिविजुअली नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ। तो ये जो रिले रेस जो हम सीख गए ना करना, तो उसमें ये हो जाएगा। दूसरा,
बट अगर ये रिले रेस में वो ये बैटन पे ट्रांसफर नहीं हो पाया, फिर क्या होगा?
नहीं, ये ट्रांसफर हो जा रहा है, क्योंकि मैनेजिंग कमेटी भी सपोर्ट दे रही है, लोग भी सपोर्ट दे रहे हैं, क्योंकि अब हो क्या गया है ना, सबके सपने बन गए। आज मेरा नेटवर्थ एक पुरानी बिल्डिंग में, मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ, बांद्रा से मेरी पुरानी बिल्डिंग में घर है 1000 फुट का, जो बिक रहा है 4 करोड़ के अंदर। अब मेरे को ऑफर आ गई है 100% एक्स्ट्रा एरिया की, मेरे को ऑफर आ गई है बिल्डिंग में रैंप रहेगा, अम्यूनिटीज रहेगी, स्ट्रेचर साइज एलिवेटर्स रहेगा, वगैरह वगैरह, मेरे को रेंट मिलेगा, मेरे को कॉर्पस मिलेगा। रेंट कॉर्पस का कैलकुलेशन छोड़िए, खाली हम बात करेंगे 1000 फुट का फ्लैट 2000 फुट हो जाता है। अब क्योंकि इतना सब बिल्डर दे रहा है, तो उसका भी कैलकुलेशन है कि मैं 75,000 में बेचने वाला हूँ, उसके नीचे तो उसको परवड़ने नहीं वाला है। अब मैं मेरे लिए 70,000 का भी रेट गिनूं, तो मेरी 4 करोड़ की चीज आज 14 करोड़ तो हो गई है। 2000 फुट मिल रहा है, 70,000 का भाव है, 14 करोड़ मुझे मिल रहा है। तो मैंने 4 करोड़ से 14 करोड़ कर लिए, क्यों? मेरे पास एक एसेट था जो बिल्डिंग की रीडेवलपमेंट हो गई। अब मैं ही बोल दूंगा मेरा 4 का 14 हो रहा है, तो मैं लटक के इसके साथ झगड़े में कहाँ पड़ू? ये जो ला रहा है जिसको, वो तो अच्छा ही आदमी है, उसकी अच्छी बैलेंस शीट है, वो खुद से तो सुपीरियर आदमी को ही ला रहा है कंप्लीट करने, तो मैं भी उसको सपोर्ट दे दूंगा कंप्लीट करने के लिए। तो आई थिंक वी ऑल हैव अंडरस्टूड, मेरा पैसा बन रहा है, तो अब ये जैसे करके दे रहा है, करके तो दे रहा है, वो इंपॉर्टेंट है, कैसे करके दे रहा है वो इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है। और इसमें इंस्ट्रूमेंटल रोल प्ले करेगी जो लीडर्स है इस सोसाइटी के, क्योंकि उनको पहले ही खुश रखा गया है, तो वो भी बोलेंगे हाँ बात तो सही है, हम सबके 4 के 14 हो रहे, तो हम क्यों इसमें बाधा बनते। सो आई थिंक वी ऑल हैव अंडरस्टूड, लेट अस ऑल मेक मनी। ये एक बहुत बड़ा, एंड द प्रॉब्लम इज हर कोई स्टेक होल्डर समझ गया है कि इसमें पैसा बनाना है अपने को, तो वो ये खेल खेल रहा है। तो ये अकेले से होने नहीं वाला है, इसमें आई विल सी अ लॉट मोर ऑफ जेवी, जेडीएस, डीएम्स, ये सारे जितने भी वर्ड प्ले है वो फिर से शुरू हो जाएंगे, प्रोजेक्ट्स कंप्लीट हो जाएंगे। वी वोंट सी एन एरा ऑफ स्टॉल्ड प्रोजेक्ट्स, वी वोंट सी एन एरा ऑफ नेकेड स्टील स्ट्रक्चर स्टैंडिंग, कंक्रीट स्ट्रक्चर स्टैंडिंग, वो नहीं होने वाला है, कंप्लीट तो हो जाएंगे।
पर इतने बायर्स होंगे ऐसे प्राइस में लेने के लिए, क्योंकि एक टाइम पे इतना वॉल्यूम आ रहा है, पहले के टाइम पे कम बिल्डिंग्स होती थी, तो देयर वाज इन अ वे अ बिट ऑफ स्कैरसिटी। अभी स्कैरसिटी का जमाना तो चले गया, अभी इतना डिमांड है इन लोग के टू बाय दीज एक्सपेंसिव होम, जो बिल्डर 1000 स्क्वायर फीट का घर में 2000 स्क्वायर फीट दे रहा है। Is the economics, can it stack up when such volume is there?
See, what is happening is one needs to realize the volume that we see, जो सप्लाई हम देख रहे एज अ लेमैन, और हमें लगता है ये इतनी सारी बिल्डिंग आ गई है, एक्चुअली पहले तो दैट एंटायर वॉल्यूम इज डिवाइडेड बाय 2, क्योंकि इसमें से आधा तो रिहैब है, आधा ही फ्री सेल कंपोनेंट है। अब वो जो आधा फ्री सेल कंपोनेंट है, देयर ऑल्सो वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड देयर आर मेनी पीपल इन रिहैब जिनके लिए नया घर लेना मुश्किल हो जाता है, बट दे वेट फॉर देयर रीडेवलपमेंट एंड दे एक्चुअली वांट टू बाय मोर एरिया फ्रॉम द फ्री सेल ओनली सो दैट दे कैन अपग्रेड देयर ग्रिड। तो वो एक्चुअली रुकते हैं कि जिस भी दिन मेरा रीडेवलपमेंट में जाएगा, मुझे एक्स्ट्रा जो भी लेना है, मैं बेसिक प्राइस के ऊपर या 20% 25% बिलो द लॉन्च प्राइस में खरीद लेता हूँ। तो ऑलमोस्ट डेवलपर का इन अ रीडेवलपमेंट सिनारियो 20% माल जो एग्जिस्टिंग लोग है वही खरीद लेते हैं। अब जो माल बच जाता है उसमें भी यू विल बी सरप्राइज, खास करके रीडेवलपमेंट प्रोजेक्ट्स में, जो मेरे एग्जिस्टिंग टेनेंट्स है, सोसाइटी मेंबर्स है, दे आर द बिगेस्ट फ्लैग बेरर्स ऑफ सेल। वही लेके आ जाते हैं, वो अपने वर्ड ऑफ माउथ से दोस्त को लेके आ जाएंगे, वो किसी को लेके आ जाएंगे और वो माल बिका देते हैं। देखो, रियल एस्टेट है ना, इज वेरी कनेक्टेड विद इमोशंस ऑफ अ पर्सन। पीपल ट्रीट एवरीथिंग बहुत जज्बात के साथ करते हैं सब चीज। तो एक फीलिंग कि मेरी अब बिल्डिंग नहीं बन रही है, ये ग्रैंड बन रही है, अब मुझे मेरे दोस्त के साथ रहना है। यूएस में देयर इज अ काउंटी वेयर 7 फ्रेंड्स मिलके उन्होंने एक पूरा गांव खरीद लिया, क्योंकि उनका एक ड्रीम था कि हम 7 लोग मिलके ये पूरे गांव में हम लोग ऐसे रहेंगे, और उन्होंने अपना घर बनाया था और उनका रिटायरमेंट का ये ड्रीम था। तो ये एक रहता है कि मुझे मेरा ये बेस्ट फ्रेंड है, उसको मैं बोलता हूँ चल आजा बिल्डिंग में, दैट जॉय कि हम एक ही बिल्डिंग में रह रहे, वो एक कॉन्सेप्ट है, दैट इज हाउ वी हैव ग्रोन। सो द होल आइडिया इज दैट आई वांट टू ब्रिंग people I know into the building where I stay, so that the whole experience of staying and living in the same building is augmented. There are various elements attached to it, and that really is a big puller. तो ये सब हम देखते हैं, ब्रोकर वगैरह वो सब ठीक है, बट I think it's a very emotion driven thing, and that really works well for Indian real estate. It is that emotion, especially Mumbai. India तो छोड़ो बहुत varied है, but Mumbai real estate runs only on emotion. वो बोलते हैं ना, ये सिटी को कौन चलाता है? ये सिटी को स्पिरिट चलाता है और वाइब चलाता है. ये दो चीज निकाल दोगे ना तो मुंबई विल बिकम द कोलकाता ऑफ व्हाट वी सी टुडे. सो अगर स्पिरिट और वाइब है ना, is the same spirit and vibe with which people go in real estate, and that spirit and vibe is यार कैसी भी बिल्डिंग है, ये मेरी बिल्डिंग है, ये बिल्डिंग अच्छी है. वो अंदर से कितना भी गाली देंगे डेवलपर को, बट व्हेन दे एक्चुअली टेल समवन नहीं यार ये बिल्डिंग बहुत अच्छी है, आ जा तू रहने के लिए साथ में, फिर सब साथ में सफर करेंगे, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. बट द फैक्ट ऑफ द मैटर इज people are very emotional. People think from their heart when it comes to real estate, and especially real estate.
In your view, माल बिक जाएगा, बिल्डिंग स्टॉल नहीं होगी?
माल बिक रहा है. आई डोंट से इट विल बिक जाएगा. इट्स द फर्स्ट टाइम. आप है ना कोई भी बैंकर से बात करिए, आज डेवलपर्स की बैलेंस शीट इज द बिगेस्ट, वो बोलते हैं ना लिटमस पेपर टेस्ट के क्या हो रहा है. आज बैलेंस शीट्स लाइट है, डेट इतना हैवी नहीं है किसके पास, कोई 400 किलो की स्क्वाटिंग नहीं कर रहा है. आज लोग ऑर्गेनिकली ही काम कर रहे हैं. ठीक है, वो प्राइसिंग का मार्केटिंग टूल बना रहे हैं और वो सब एक साइड चल रहा है नॉइस, बट प्रिंसिपली है ना रनिंग तो हो रहा है. तो ऐसा नहीं है. एक है ना बीच में 10 साल पहले कंसर्निंग फेज वाज वेयर आपका सस्ता डेट वाज बीइंग रिप्लेस्ड बाय एनबीएफसीज, एआईएफ्स, और 24% 18% की चक्री में बिल्डर घुसते जा रहे थे. वो वाला फेज अभी चालू ही नहीं हुआ है. इनफैक्ट कोई मिल भी नहीं रहा है उनको. लोग सिर्फ बातें कर रहे हैं आज प्रिंसिपली सेल्स की, और सेल्स ड्रिवन अप्रोच which real estate developers have taken today will bail them out. I think today no developer is hanging on to the story of future prices. Everyone is living in the present.
बिल्डर्स का भी वो माहौल नहीं है कि नहीं
होल्ड करते हैं.
हाँ, मुझे अपना ही प्राइस चाहिए.
क्यों? क्योंकि आज रीडेवलपमेंट हैज गॉन सो स्प्रेड आउट. आई एम नॉट वरीड दैट आई विल गेट मोर प्रोजेक्ट्स और नॉट ना. आज मेरे को यार प्रॉब्लम हो रही है, इतने प्रोजेक्ट्स आ गए ऑफिस के ऊपर, तो अगर मैं एग्जिस्टिंग का माल बेचूंगा तो ही और कर पाऊंगा. So everyone's more of the approach, let us grow more. Plus, I'll tell you, the stock market boom is actually supporting real estate, because now, never in the history have so many players of real estate thought of going to the markets. हमेशा सोचा क्या गया था, रियल एस्टेट इज अ ब्लैक मनी बिजनेस, वो क्या ही अपने बुक्स खोलेंगे, वो क्या ही आएंगे. यार हर सेकंड डेवलपर अब सोच रहा है कि मैं चले जाता हूँ लिस्टिंग के अंदर, हर सेकंड, और लिस्टिंग में जाने की सोच रहा है, मतलब तो अब चेक का ही धंधा का ही सोच रहा है, धंधा बढ़ाने की सोच रहा है, स्केल बढ़ाने की सोच रहा है. तो वो सब क्यों हो पा रहा है? बिकॉज आज इतने प्रोजेक्ट्स आ रहे हैं. अब सबको एक फोमो का बग काटा है, जिसको बोलते हैं फियर ऑफ मिसिंग आउट. सबको वो नेटवर्थ मल्टीप्लाई करने का स्वाद हर सोसाइटी ने चख लिया है. हर लैंडलॉर्ड और टेनेंट को मिलियनर बनने का है. तो सबको ही रीडेवलपमेंट में जाना है, तो उतना काम करने बिल्डर तो इतनी फोर्स से बढ़ नहीं रहे. जितनी इंडिया में टाइगर है उससे कम तो बिल्डर है. तो जो काम कर सकते हैं, तो सेव टाइगर कैंपेन चला रहे हो, सेव बिल्डर कैंपेन चलाना चाहिए. बट वो जो बिल्डर्स है उनके पास उतनी एबिलिटी है. अब वो अपनी एबिलिटी ग्रो करने, दे आर गोइंग टू द मार्केट्स, दे आर सेलिंग लाइक नेवर बिफोर, दे आर सेलिंग लेफ्ट राइट सेंटर. वो ऐसे सोच ही नहीं रहे कि मैं इसको होल्ड करूं. होल्ड करने की क्यों सोचता था? क्योंकि नए प्रोजेक्ट मिलना मुश्किल था. अब अगर मुझे प्रोजेक्ट्स ही मिल रहे तो मैं इसको होल्ड क्यों करूं? दीज आर ट्रेंड्स विच आर इंडिकेटिंग दैट मुंबई will be very different in the next 10 years, because the mindset is very different. If someone had not come to Mumbai for 10 years, they would not recognize, take them to the coastal road, they will not recognize looking at the infra, the skyline which is getting built. और आई थिंक एक हमारा है ना बहुत अच्छा है एज मुंबईकर्स, एज इंडियंस, हमें एक चीज में सक्सेस मिलती है ना तो हम उसको ही खींचते जाते, रिपीट करते जाते. अब हमें समझ गया कोस्टल रोड इज अ गेम चेंजर. अब ये कोस्टल रोड कहाँ कहाँ तक जाएगा ना, जस्ट सी इन द नेक्स्ट 10 years. They will take it to all parts of Mumbai. And what will happen because of that? You are in any part of Mumbai, you can reach any other part in 30 minutes. So that will actually increase the whole spread. And what will benefit out of this? Real estate. So I think the story is very large. It's very good. It's very positive. And I don't see the story really blinkering out, principally because there is discipline of sales. Discipline of sales was not there. I think that has come. And also thanks to a lot of corporate builders coming in. So corporate builders have brought that discipline of sale. अरे ताला बनाने वाला, साबुन बनाने वाला, कपड़ा बनाने वाला अगर बिल्डर बनेगा तो वो तो सोच वही लाएगा ना कि माल ज्यादा से ज्यादा बनाओ, ज्यादा से ज्यादा बेचो और जल्द से जल्द दूसरा काम करो. तो वही सोच आ रही है. These are best practices of a clothing industry, of a FMCG industry which is coming into real estate. तो real estate को हम खाली पेपर पे बोलते थे इसको इंडस्ट्री बोलो, हम मैन्युफैक्चरर है, But the manufacturers and industries have come into real estate and they have made it like an industry. So everyone is now forced to change, and which is good for the sector.
Has black money in real estate gone away?
Yaar, will prostitution ever go away? Black money का system ऐसा है ना, there is, and see, black money का कैसा है ना system, I see it, if it stays in the country, no, it is good. The problem with black money was that it was going out of the country. It was going to heavens like Switzerland. It was going to heavens like the new laundry abhi jo bolte Dubai. Black money should stay within the country. Then there is no problem, because ultimately it will be the biggest economic driver of the country itself, because it is rotating out within the country. I feel the black money staying back in the country. I don't see the black money flying out of country now, which it was. So I don't have issues if it is staying back in the country.
But is it, in your view, has black money come down? Has it risen in real estate?
See, if the fact is, if people are thinking to go real estate as a listed entity, what does a listing demand? A listing demands a growing balance sheet. Listing demands growing sale figures. What was the approach with black money? The approach was I wanted to save tax. The approach was that I didn't want to declare income. I think it is the mindset change that has happened, where people are saying, boss, I can make much more money by declaring larger and larger sales, by declaring larger and larger balance sheets. Because यार ये नशा चढ़ गया है कि मुझे फोर्ब्स लिस्ट में आना है, मुझे टॉप मोस्ट बिल्डर, मेरा इस माइक्रो मार्केट का सबसे महंगा घर तो मैंने ही बेचा है, 100 करोड़ का घर बेच रहा हूँ, 50 करोड़ का घर बेच रहा हूँ, छाती ठोक ठोक के सबको बोलना है मेरी बिल्डिंग में 1 लाख रुपए का रेट है. तो वो क्या, यू आर गोइंग टू वाइट मनी. एक माइंडसेट उल्टा चल रहा था कि मुझे मैक्सिमम रोकड़ा लेना है, 80% रोकड़ा लेना है, 70% रोकड़ा लेना है और रियल एस्टेट में आना है. बट वो माइंडसेट ही चेंज होते जा रहा है, क्योंकि समवेयर डाउन द लाइन वी ऑल लाइक टू फ्लैश ऑल्सो. And the real flex and real flash is happening that I've bought a 100 crore home or I've sold a 100 crore home. That is the flex a developer today wants to take. In that flex, the black money doesn't fit the script, because with black money, I'll have to underwrite my books. I have to show that I've done very low sales. I will have to show that my profits are not there on the book itself, etc., etc. So I think the mindset, because majority of the players want to get listed, because they are seeing how fortunes of companies which have got listed have changed. They are moving their books in that direction. However, black money is like water. Water finds its course. So real estate is not only residential. There are many other parts of real estate. There is land, there is plotted development, there are data centers. So black money will find its course somewhere. It will go. I'm not saying that it will vanish out, because no other asset class has the ability to absorb amount of black money that real estate does. But certainly when it comes to developers, the mindset today, if you speak with 100 developers, 90 developers see a lot of value in hitting the stock market. They'll see a lot of value in showing swelling sales. They will tell you there's a lot of value in saying that I sold a 50,000 rupee per square foot sale in Borivali. They will not flex about I sold at 15,000 rupees a foot. They will flex. 15,000 meant what? You took 10 or 20,000 in cash, but they'll flex about 50,000. So people want to do that flex, and that flex has percolated. That flex has percolated across the industry.
So basically, now the builders are saying that it's better to show higher profits and gain in market capitalization if you're listed than show lower profits and save on tax.
The benefit of listing is so heavy, it adds to your wealth exponentially. So where people are actually seeing, see, there is a new term called GDV. ये तो था ही नहीं किधर कभी, मतलब सुना ही नहीं था किसने. Veterans who've done real estate for 40 years will tell you they've never even spoken of this word. What is GDV? Gross Development Value. क्या है? Basically हम एक प्रोजेक्ट करते हैं, तो उसमें हम सर्टन रिहैब करते हैं, सर्टन सेल करते हैं. अब दोनों की वैल्यू जोड़ के उसका जो वैल्यूएशन बना डालते हैं. तो अभी एक कोई क्लस्टर करता है तो बोलता है मैं 4,000 करोड़ की जीडीवी कर रहा हूँ साउथ मुंबई में. अब उसने तो ऑलरेडी बोल दिया है वो 4,000 करोड़ की जीडीपी कर रहा है. तो वेयर इज कैश फिगरिंग आउट ओवर हियर? क्यों? द मार्केट कैप इज ड्राइविंग बेसिस द जीडीपी. कोई पैट की बात नहीं कर रहा है, कोई एबिटा की बात नहीं कर रहा है.
But should the market start rewarding that?
ऐसा है ना यार, ये market तो rewards the money that a startup burns rather than the sale that the startup does. जितना वो बर्न करते जाता है उतनी वैल्यूएशन बढ़ाते जाते हैं. उससे तो रियल एस्टेट में हम बहुत रीजनेबल बात कर रहे हैं. आप स्टार्टअप लोग को देखो क्या ही करते रहते हैं. ये तो मतलब फुगाते जा रहे 8,000 करोड़ की कंपनी बन गई, ओवरनाइट बस्ट हो जाती है एजुकेशन सेक्टर में. ऐसे कैसे हो रहा है? सो उससे तो आई थिंक रियल एस्टेट इज टॉकिंग वेरी रीजनेबली ओवर हियर. And we are talking GDP where we are actually creating that wealth in that particular project and delivering over. My limited point is that there is, in this entire discussion, the flex is valuation on paper. And when valuation discussion is there, no, cash goes out of the window. But cash will find its way in different formats, in different asset classes. It will be real estate. But this is not where developers are focusing today, because today they see cash as a speed breaker to their exponential growth. This exponential growth is being fueled by the nuclear reactor called stock market, and there your cash is that dirt which will slow the spin of the nuclear reactor. They want to showcase massive growth, massive numbers. नंबर गेम में कैश आता ही नहीं है, वो तो रोक देता है ग्रोथ को. प्लस तुम्हारी एनर्जी चले जाएगी वो कैश को किधर ठिकाने पे लगाऊं, किधर सेट करूं. अच्छा, वो कैश को आगे दोगे ये भी किधर? स्पीड मनी को छोड़ के किधर लगाओगे? क्योंकि आज लैंडलॉर्ड भी क्या बोलता है, मुझे व्हाइट में दे दे. लैंडलॉर्ड भी नहीं मांग रहा है आज तो ये दैट इज अनदर प्रॉब्लम. सो आई थिंक इन टुडेज इरा, I will not say that black money is out of real estate, but I will say in the scheme of things that developers are doing, I see it more as my growth inhibitor than a growth accelerator, because of the flavor that stock market has added. And this is a variable which was non-existent 5 years back.
But suppose stock markets go down 25-30% on real estate.
Oh, then things will again change. We'll have a season 2 of this podcast where we will have to talk differently. But today's scenario is not what it was 5 years back. The thought processes have changed.
Because I keep thinking that sales तो हो जाते हैं, but अभी जब मैं some listed names, I see their P&L and balance sheet, they've got margins of between 5 to 10%. So is the business model only flawed, that and stock markets are in a way enabling a flawed business model to continue, जहाँ पे आप sales यहाँ पे इतना दिखाओ और profit इतना दिखाओ, and still the stock price is going up.
So there are two things. And because my brother-in-law runs a factory, I can tell you very confidently on this. I look at his margins that he makes on the product. It's nuts. I mean, it's so low that I sometimes think, yaar, kya kar raha hai? But the real game, he tells me, is the volume that he does. It's not that per unit margin that he makes. He tells me if I do 10 lakh units in a day, that is where I will really make money. And I aspire to do 1 crore units a day manufacturing. So that is the language that manufacturers talk. I think because of the progression that is happening, developers भी यही भाषा बोलना चालू कर रहे हैं कि मुझे वॉल्यूम दे दो. क्लस्टर क्या है? वॉल्यूम कर रहे हैं. और वो वॉल्यूम में जो टोटल नंबर आ रहा है, दैट इज वेरी अट्रैक्टिव. मैं 500 करोड़ बना रहा हूँ, मैं 1000 करोड़ बना रहा हूँ, मैं 700 करोड़ बना रहा हूँ. I think focus is there. That is
absolute number than the percentage.
Than the percentage. And that is the game which manufacturers have been playing for last 60 years. And you have to look at real estate as a manufacturing industry. And that is the right approach, that you become like a factory where you keep delivering homes, where you keep delivering offices. You become. The second thing is, I would want to tell, I also run a real estate development company, and I run it on a very smaller scale, and which is why I am aware what is happening in which department. My only tip would be a little more hands-on on what is happening in each of your department. Your margin might just go up by 2-3% more. So leakages within the departments have to be controlled. See, I told you there are 400 industries. So which means you will have to have so many procurements, so many variables, so many departments to control. If you do an internal auditing of each of the department, and if you do that vigilance price controlling of each component, some of the best companies of India are good because they do auditing right to the last nut bolt level, that what is the best pricing and best quality I can achieve. If that is approached in real estate companies, especially the ones who are listed and are reporting 5% margins, I think they can double up their margin if they do that internal auditing to check if there is any leakage within the system in terms of inefficient pricing which is happening.
How much money do builders actually make at an average level?
Builders make a lot of money. Let me tell you that. We make a lot of money, but it's a double-edged sword. We can build generational wealth. We can also destroy generational wealth which we inherit. People don't talk about the second part. we have the capability, real estate sector has the capability to destroy generational wealth, which has been preserved, built over 100 years. I have seen developers even mess up on lands which they owned. They inherited a land. How could you even go wrong? Forget the development profit. People have even messed up the land profit which was there. Land profit itself is so large if you unlock it for development. So this is a very double-edged sword business. You can, and I will repeat this, you can either build generational wealth or you can destroy the inherited generational wealth that you have. So yes, there's a lot of money to be made because the scale at which you work is so large. But that scale is so large that it can go two ways. It can even cause a dip. And this is like a no-limit casino table. Once you sit, by the end of the night, you might just come out like a pauper. You might have gone in as an absolute monarch. So that is the power that real estate has in terms of changing fortunes.
So how much margin would an average builder be making in Mumbai real estate according to you?
See, I think on an average 1,000-meter plot, a developer looks to make on an average at least say 50 crores. If he's not making 50 crores, I don't think it's even worth. And my simple calculation is to run a 1,000-meter project, you need to invest 50 crores because that is how the rules and regulations have been designed. You need to put money on approval side, you need to satisfy the landlord or you need to satisfy the society. Your RERA requires you to get full CC, which means you need to pay all the premiums. Premiums today almost 1/3 of the project cost. You need to have everything in place. Now, if you're doing everything of that stature, you are easily putting in 50 crores of your own. In any business, if you are putting 50 crores and if you're not getting back 50 crores, it doesn't make sense. So whatever is your peak cash flow that you need to invest before making your first sale. See, those days of putting up a board and getting booking are far done and dusted with. वो तो हो नहीं रहा है, जो पहले हो रहा था. So I think today's days are very simple that you will have to put your equity in the project. So of the total project cost, 25 to 30% you will have to put in before you see the first sale hitting in. And that 25 to 30%, if you're not getting back, there's a serious problem of why you are doing the business of real estate.
But if you invest 50 crores and you get 50 crores profit, that's like a return on investment of 100%, you're saying.
That is what should be ideally how the business should be. And if you're not getting it, then why are you doing real estate then?
Isn't that too high? Like,
it is not high because given the risk that you run in this particular business, which business you are biting a bullet every day. They call real estate as the mafias, but you are actually biting the bullet every day. You are accustomed to changing rules and regulations. You are accustomed to extortion and blackmailing by married stakeholders, including the people to whom you are giving back homes. There is a litigation loom which runs on you. There's a changing field. You are told that you have to play a match in Wankhede and suddenly it shifts to Melbourne. So your ground keeps changing. No project has completed as per the feasibility on which it was taken. The numbers of the feasibility, I mean, tell me one project which actually ran as per the feasibility report that you had in hand. Given all these factors that you run with and the risk associated with it, and we discussed that you can destroy your entire generational wealth, I think this is the most basic return. And I think that was the start point why everyone wanted to do real estate because those were the margins which were there. Now, if you're not getting that, one, it's a poor selection of project. There is a leakage in your system which you need to address. So somewhere your departments are not functioning to the ability, efficiency that they should, or there is something wrong within the company.
That would mean many listed companies need to do an internal audit to fix their
not only listed, I would say every company where you see that as a Lala, as a ultimate owner of the business, if you are not getting the money back equal to the peak cash flow that you invested. So if your peak cash flow was 200 crores and if you've not got back 200 crores, I think it's the wrong place where you've put money then.
So real estate, according to you, you should be making 100% return on investment. Otherwise,
on the peak cash flow that you invest, not on the full. See, for a 1,000 crore project, you don't need more than 200 crores. So if you need, before you hit the first sales, that is my thumb rule. And if you've put 200 crores and if you've not got back 200 crores, then I think make baldi banao, mug banao, glass banao, bottle banao. जरूरी थोड़ी है real estate करो. कोई भी धंधा करो, जितना पैसा डाल रहे हो उतना तो बना लो. अगर उतना भी नहीं बना रहे हो तो कर ही क्या रहे हो?
Why do you think people hate builders so much?
I think everyone, वो बोलते हैं ना दूध का जला छाछ फूक फूक के पीता है. So हर एक का एक बुरा अनुभव हुआ रहेगा या किसी को जानते हैं जिसका बुरा अनुभव हुआ रहेगा. the problem is, you know what, it's the caricature of the developer. They think there is a pot-bellied, gold chain lad, bald guy with bracelets of gold everywhere, with gun in his pocket, and a gangster on one side and the authorities on the other. That is the developer. That is the caricature that they run of a developer. They don't look as a developer as someone who is a nation builder, someone who's coming in, multiplying my net worth for me. मैं हमेशा बोलता हूँ यार, तुमको क्या मिल रहा है वो देखो, सामने वाले को क्या मिल रहा है तुम देखने बैठोगे ना तो कभी होने नहीं वाला है. You count what you are benefiting from the process. We all are so busy counting how much the other guy is making that we tend to forget that what we are making in the process. So I think the biggest issue is the image, and as real estate developers, we don't invest into a change of image. I think something as basic as an egg did a multi-crore campaign on why eggs were so essential. Look at mutual funds. They've run a 1,000 crore campaign on why mutual funds are the best thing. Have real estate developers ever run such campaign on image cleanup? I think we have brought in a vegetarian society or in a community like Jains, etc., people who don't have non-vegetarian, eggs have run such a big campaign and they are doing so well because they've highlighted the benefits. I think developers need to have that image campaign which no one has run so far.
Why doesn't like a builder association look to change the image of builders if you say that builders have actually changed? I keep seeing so many conclaves that you guys do, your expos, which I think are mostly empty. Whenever I think last 3-4 years I've gone, most expos I feel like it's really, really idle. This year I've stopped going.
I think the bigger problem is there are way too many associations. You have only one AMFI, which represents the entire mutual fund industry. Today you have way too many. You have more than 24 associations in the city of Mumbai. So I think principally we need to have just one association. Recently, we did make an attempt to get all associations, or at least the major ones, on one table so that we all speak in one language. Let's see, early days. If that goes well, then the collective power will be largely available. But I think the problem is everyone wants to be a president, everyone wants to be a secretary, everyone wants to be a chairman, and everyone is a owner of a company. Even one developer is like one small king of his area. So, you have so many associations, so many presidents, so many secretaries. So where that uniformity of thought, vision, etc. is not happening the way it should, the collective financial muscle power is not happening the way it should. And which is why I believe that is not happening. But I strongly feel that if we have one association, the driving force in the media, and to rightly put out facts, the facts are very clear. Someone whose house was worth 4 crore has become worth 14 crores because redevelopment happened. Redevelopment happened by a developer. The fact is very clear that when a developer moves a project, he moves the economy with him. He's moving 400 industries with him. Please look at him as someone who is building the nation, who is driving any country in the world which has a large young population to support. You remove infrastructure and real estate from the equation, the country will collapse. You have seen with China, they focused only on infra and real estate and they reached double-digit numbers. They've reached where they are. Of course, there was manufacturing focus, but it was all backed by real estate. Now, because they've developed so much, their growths are stagnating because now there is not much of real estate or infra left to develop. They've done it all that they could, to a point they even created ghost cities. Even where people were not there, they created the required infrastructure. So I think we need to respect that fact that we have such a large population, which is so young. We will need real estate and infrastructure to really augment our quality of life, to increase our standard of living, and to overall create growth for the entire economy. It is the second largest employer at the end of the day. And if you are going to go after that second largest employer, you are actually doing a self-goal to the economy. And I think Maharashtra realized that beautifully, and it's reaping the benefits. Look at how Mumbai or MMR is contributing. We have started talking of Mumbai 4.0, Mumbai 3.0, Mumbai 2.0 was there in picture, and now you've gone up to Mumbai 4.0. And this is all due to beautiful harmony of infrastructure and real estate, and which, in my view, is the right approach for such a populous country. It'll keep everyone busy. There are new and new jobs which real estate is creating. you are right. The entire marketing game has shifted digitally. So I don't know if we should do a lot of efforts on the physical part of it. Of course, it is phygital is there, that you need to support digital with physical. But to what extent you should be physical should be reviewed and renewed. It's like people want content on tap. They do not want to specially spend a day, which is their off day, and go and understand projects, especially if everything is available on the click of a button. So I think some models need to be relooked at, and I strongly believe so.
Should the real estate marketing game only change? Like when I
100%.
the brochure, when I see it's all the same. The billboards, when I see it's all the same.
100%. I think we should approach marketing like an FMCG or an insurance company does. I think and there are companies which have started doing that. They've changed their game. So sooner we understand and do that, the better it is. The traditional tools were valid only till 2020. After 2020, these are all mundane, done, dusted with. COVID was a reminder that now do your digital leap. I think that was the period which told everyone that the era of physical is ending. Now do that digital leap. Your era of traditional marketing tools are ending. Do that leap. So I think it was a break that nature gave to tell us that, this is the way world will move now. And that is where the leap has happened.
How much corruption is there in real estate?
Corruption is good for real estate, I would say, because in a way, that is the entry barrier which is happening to real estate. Today, what is the entry barrier in real estate? There's no entry barrier in real estate. So corruption is that entry barrier. A lot of people are like, oh, it's too corrupt, I don't want to enter. Good, don't enter now. We have too many in the room already. So I think it is good for real estate. Corruption is not there where? I think we talk about in isolation real estate, but I think corruption is there everywhere. We need to also break corruption into two parts. One is an absolute fraud or absolute scam that is happening, right? The second is speed money. Speed money is there in all parts, in all industries across the world. It is the most common phenomena. I think speed money is undisputed. So speed money, like in every sector, like in every country, exists in real estate also. So I am not in denial of that. But yeah, absolute fraud or absolute scam happening, I think that ratio has shrunk from 100% to 10% now. We don't see the kind of frauds and scams that were happening, also because a lot of movement has happened to digital. So because of digitalization of the entire sector, because of social media being available, because of RTI being available, because of a whole new breed of profession called as the RTI activists. It's a profession. It's a very rewarding profession where you just have to be vigilant, keep doing RTIs. Because of these kind of elements.
Why do you say it's lucrative?
It's more lucrative. 10 rupees an application. And people reward you because they think that what you think is probably not the only thing that is there. Maybe if you come closer, you will find more 8-10 things. So RTI is a way, you have the best of the talent in the RTI activism pool. And RTI people are not alone. There is one face. There is one member of who understands the law. There is one member who can manage or liaise with the police system. There's one member who will understand the approvals and the authority. And there's one negotiator which is there. So that entire, it's a very syndicated profession which is there in the industry.
How do these guys make money?
It's pure extortion, right? It's pure, you look at the simple ratio, how many complaints or RTI were filed and how many reached its logical end. Most gets withdraw. So if 90% of the complaints are getting withdrawn, means they are getting settled at some point. So it's the biggest and the most rewarding profession.
So basically, first you find the dirt as a RTI activist, then later on you go and make your demand to the builder.
Absolutely. So because of this being there, I don't see any merit in doing a fraud or a scam, because how many RTIs will I keep settling? So the mindset is very simple, that I don't want to do corruption for doing a fraud or a scam. So those days where I'll knock off this guy, etc., is far done dusted with. There's social media, there's RTI, there is transparency available. Every data is pullable. So there is no merit. So I'm not saying it's zero, but I'm saying from 100% it has dropped down to 10%. I don't see the scam part of it, at least not in the immediate Mumbai world of it.
So basically, you would say 10% of today's developers are only the ones who have a fraudulent mindset. Only 10%.
The frauds and the scams are limited to, and not developer breed. So I will say the ones who are doing have taken a backseat and they've given off their projects also. I don't see them continuing. See,
haven't they come back after the post-COVID boom? There are many of them who earlier used to tell me, Vishal bhai, mere ko dhanda chhodna hai. and then suddenly excitement में then they tell me 2 years later, Vishal bhai मेरे 5 project है.
It is the blood group that they have. It is the foundation and the makeup which doesn't let them leave the industry. See, this also I'll tell you principally, once a developer, think of which other industry will he fit in. Just run a list of all the industries. Where will the skill set of a developer fit in? So this is the only industry that he'll come back to. It's like a Bollywood actor or politician who will say that I don't want to do politics or I don't want to do acting. But eventually that actor, even after 20 years going in depression, taking a drinking bout, now comes back with a stunner, right? So it is like that.
Bobby Deol, you're talking about Bobby Deol. Okay.
Lord Bobby. So, ultimately, no matter where, that skill set will come in and he will come back like a rock star. So I see a developer who has even done dusted, he's resting, he's in hibernation, but he will come back with a bang because ultimately there is no other trade that he can identify with. So once a developer, till the end a developer. I can't say that about the next generation of his. But if the developer is there, he's not leaving the trade. He might be resting, he might be in hibernation, he might be busy, but he will come back.
So tell me, 25 years back versus today. We are in 2025 now. If you were to put your guesstimate, because nobody can verify this for sure, in 2000, what percentage of developers do you think were the ones who had this Teda mindset versus 2025?
Oh, very interesting. I think that was the only survival mode 25 years back that you had. The modus operandi 25 years back was that if you had a bit of a jugaad mindset or a bit of a teda mindset, you could do well. So I would say 50% of the industry was like that. 50% was still people who were well disciplined, doing etc. Today, I think that number has shrunk down to 10%. I don't think more than 10% because of the last 10, 15 years, the way industry has been creating one hurdle after the other or gone through so many changes, it has been like a filter. So from level 1, you have to reach level 2, level 3. We are today at level 15. To survive with that mindset till level 15, 40% of the people have gone out of the system. It's only 10% which remain. And 10% is a very acceptable number in any industry. There are always in all industries. You look at even a basic mineral water business also, you'll have 10% who are crooked people. They'll put some labeling, they will do some spelling, jugaad, etc. They will not have the safety standards in place, etc.
Why do builders treat home buyers badly according to you?
Again, that's a thing of past, really. I don't think in today's time, the intent is to treat it badly, but I think there are some firms which have expanded way too early than what they should, or probably that culture has not gone down to the last employee. See, we just say that so-and-so company is not treating the customer right, but it is that 4,000th employee of that company, which is the face of that company, which has not treated it well. And probably that employee would not be in the company 2 months later also. He might have switched to some other company. So I think it's very important that the people who are front facing, they are trained. It's like how you train in the airline business. Your air hostesses and all your customer facing staff, they go through enormous training, how to deal with behavior, antiques and all kind of craziness that they can encounter. I think that aviation kind of training needs to exist in real estate in a front-ended job. They need to know what to reply, how to reply, and how to deal with a crisis situation. So I think that is missing. Because that is missing, the feeling at the end of the day with the home buyer is that we are getting treated like garbage. And I'll tell you, today's home buyer or any home buyer in any age, especially in Mumbai real estate, have been the most accommodating home buyer. You can't have the easier home buyer than a Mumbai home buyer. He is the most understanding guy.
Why do you say that?
He is the most tolerating guy because his limited expectation is कि boss मेरे को घर दे दो थोड़ा 6 महीने. In his mind only is calculated कि 1-2 साल बाद में ही मिलने वाला है from what you are telling him. So he is most adjusting. He also understands the issues that are there in the sector. It's not that he is oblivion to these issues. You don't have these typical BPO IT kind of customers who are only working on their mobile, talking with American customers and have a mindset that real estate is like Swiggy, Zomato, order kar liya, 30-minute delivery nahi to free. That is not the mindset a Mumbai home buyer has typically. Might be in other cities, but Mumbai home buyer is very nice.
Gurgaon home buyer also realizes a very tolerant.
Very tolerant breed. All they want is you are facing an issue. Please call a town hall. Please meet us. Let the promoter face it. And that is how it should be. Tell us what is the issue. Tell us what you are thinking to circumvent this issue, to address this issue. We are there to support you.
So why don't builders do that then? If it's so simple.
I think it is basic leadership ability, right? If that is the approach you would take, I don't think a Mumbai home buyer has project having issues is the most common thing. It is as common as mosquitoes being there in Mumbai. Projects will have issues. That is the conduct, the framework in which we operate, that issues have to be created. I always say that, what is DCPR 2034?
What is
it is
ready for the audience?
Right. DCPR actually stands for Development Control Promotions Regulation. It's the rule regulation under which you make. But I don't call it the development part of it. I call it the discretionary control promotion regulations. So everything is so discretionary about the DCPR that there will be issues, right? Plus, we are the famous and the most popular punching pad for judiciary also. Anything goes wrong with the judiciary, the first thing they will attack is real estate sector. Suddenly flamingos, etc. issues were there, real estate projects to be stopped. Your dumping issue is there, real estate projects to be stopped. Any issue that comes at the your coastal zone maps were not made, real estate projects to be stopped. So anything is there, stoppage to real estate is the most common course of action.
But tell me, why does this happen? Like you're saying, this example of judiciary, since you brought it up. Judiciary, they go hard on developers. BMC, they go hard on builders, though many people doubt the.
But they actually go.
Okay. The buyers, they clearly don't like builders at all. Okay.
Correct.
So, is there any segment of the population that actually likes builders?
I think the bankers love builders.
Okay.
A lot of money is made for them through the builders. I think they don't dislike builders. But
how much money do lenders make?
I will. Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. I will tell you. In the earlier days, when a lot of leverage was happening, they were as good as the partners to the project. I mean, sometimes the developer would make lesser money and the lender would make more money out of the project. We always see only the accidents, but see some of the good projects. I know of a township in MMR where a lender made 300 crore only in interest money. And one of the partner, there were 4 partners in the project. One of the partners take home after doing that entire mammoth 25-acre project was 75 crores. He was like, we had a lender who made 300 crores. We all 4 partners put together made. They diligently paid every bit of money to the lender. They made as much as the lender made on the project. So
do lenders overcharge builders? Just like how builders overcharge home buyers, maybe?
Of course. And the fun part is what, the NBFCs borrow from the banks to lend to the developer to whom the bank said a no. Let me repeat this. NBFC lends to the developer by borrowing from the bank to the developer whom the bank had said a no in the first place. How does that logically work?
So how does this happen?
So you are an NBFC, you are borrowing from a bank. The bank has told me no, but you are borrowing from the bank and you are lending it back to me. How does that logic work? And how is it that not a recipe for disaster? So you are overcharging for the services of being able to borrow from the bank and still lending. So that arbitrage which exists is killing the industry, which needs to be addressed. Of course, in the last 5 years, because we have become more sales driven, this issue has got. But what was the entire NBFC crisis about? It was a mismatch. So I remember an article in a media. They had listed that this particular NBFC owes so much money to all these banks. And this NBFC has lent so much money which it owes from so many developers. And I said the problem was resolved if these developers had borrowed from these banks because they gave the intermediary extra 6% interest. So if the bank would have charged them 12%, they were paying 18%. If bank would have charged 14%, they were paying 20%. What for? Why can't we have real estate focused capital solution available in the country? And why do you need your NBFCs and AIFs? They talk good English, they wear good clothes, they have their offices in 400, 500 rupees per square foot office space market. But what is the value addition they are doing? Some fancy English words like restructuring, providing you capital in bullet payments. I think it's humbug. And really, if you tell me, A capital intensive industry solution lies in availability of capital. But you've made that capital only so exotic. How will this industry function? You were telling me automobiles sell in the end, but look at the cost of borrowing of automobile. You tell an automobile to borrow from an NBFC and then let us discuss how many automobiles can sell in the end. You make capital available to them at 6%. Today, if you are manufacturing, banks will even lend to them below their prime lending rate also, because they have a certain quota to lend to manufacturers, which they are not able to exhaust also, because so much manufacturing doesn't exist in the country. So I think we need to relook at those ratios, that how much capital needs to be available, or maybe have a separate real estate banks which only lend to real estate, who only understand real estate. You can't have a bank which is lending to 40 sectors. Real estate is a very specialized business. You have infrastructure banks which lend exclusively to infrastructure. You should have real estate banks. The problem is that gap is being taken by NBFCs and AIFs, who are charging at 18% and 24% coupon.
But I mean, lenders tell me that they have to charge a high rate because one, that the real estate sector has a lot of variables. बहुत से googlies आ जाते हैं. दूसरा, the intent and discipline of the builder is not strong, which is not the case in many other sectors. For that risk, it's fair to charge a premium, no?
The biggest googly is the banker himself. If amongst all the googlies that you see, the biggest googly is the banking system itself. There have been cases of loans which are sanctioned, processing fees taken, but not disbursed. That is the biggest googly that can make the entire developer bankrupt. Let me repeat again. I have come to you for a 500 crore loan. You have sanctioned that loan. I've paid you processing fee, which is 1%, 2%. So some crazy 5-10 crores you've taken from me as processing fee also. So I'm counting on you to time disburse money to me so that my project can run. Now, in between, due to whatever issues you have internally or due to whatever you feel, you stop disbursing amount to me. And I can't move out of your system also because you've mortgaged the entire part. You single-handedly, with a 500 crore loan, can struck down my entire 40-year-old business, which is worth more than 5,000 crore. That is the power that you hold. And that is where the biggest banking mafia will work towards, entirely finishing me off.
Banking mafia?
Of course, because now I can't go to any other banker, because that is where this entire bank I am married to.
So then people keep talking about real estate mafia. You're saying there's even a banking mafia?
See, it's principally every industry has their own mafia, so to say. But realistically, what I'm saying is the issue is so grave, it has to be made the letter of the law that if you are sanctioning something to me and lives of thousands of customers depend on that particular sanction, you can't stop midway saying, I won't disburse more money to you. You've taken a call, you have a lending committee, you have an investment committee, you have a risk committee, 20 bankers come for one single meeting with one promoter. I don't know why that approach also, but and after doing all of that, you have credit system, you have the most sophisticated tech, you have AI, you have everything to your disposal, CIBIL, everything. You've taken personal guarantee, you've taken corporate guarantee. How can you stop midway funding? And the entire NBFC crisis, if you look, there will be hundreds of cases of sanctioned but not disbursed. And now when you go back to them, they say, just repay us, we'll give you NOC, go back to someone else. Now someone else is not going, and by the time you get someone, this has mounted to a point where it is, and 3 months you don't pay, you are any which way is NPA. And I think that needs the biggest addressal, because if you want to scale projects, you can't keep on going back to the point that we dealt with promoters which were great. Then you have a wrong system in place where you can't judge the intent of the promoter, or you don't know probably whom you are dealing with. You have studied his entire balance sheets. You've known his entire 30-year-old record. Maybe his own father-in-law would not know so much that you know him of. And then you still complain that, this promoter is this and that. I think we need to stop that over here. We need to really get on to the piece that banking regulations for real estate sector in 2026 need a change. And if that change comes, I think that will bless the entire sector to a point that growth of 2x more will be possible from where we are.
Harshul, are home prices in Mumbai high because of black money?
Home prices in Mumbai are lower by 11% because of black money. There's no 6% stamp duty and 5% GST on black money. But on a serious note, I'll tell you, home prices in Mumbai are high because of high land values. the land is so expensive in Mumbai, and expensive not only in terms of money, but when you do redevelopment, look at the amount of money value of things that you give back to the society. So you are giving back extra area, rent, corpus, you are doing their flats, etc., etc. When you give that entire package, you've paid for some crazy land value. Maybe you've got a deferred payment schedule, or you're not paying in money terms, but in terms of things that you do for them. And if you add the money value to it, it is the craziest land value ever. And because of that land value, the ultimate boil down is that the landed cost goes high. Second, nowhere in the entire country, nowhere in the world, the kind of premiums that BMC charges, which is the world's richest local body, which has budgets which run more than 50,000 crores annually, the kind of money that they make out of real estate is crazy. I'll give you one example. The entire coastal road was paid by one of the premium that developers pay, which is called fungible premium. We pay 40 types of premiums. Fungible premium is one type of premiums, and that has funded the entire coastal road project. So if you really understand these two elements, which is the government and which is the landlord, I think they single-handedly attribute to 70% of the project cost. You remove these two elements, then what is the difference between Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai? Land values are not so high. The corporations don't take so much money as
But then
premiums.
who's buying the apartments? Is black money making sure that these apartments at high prices get bought?
No, I think on the contrary, the apartments which have got bought at the highest prices are the ones which are actually the founders of startups or people who are owning companies for decades and have made a kill at the stock market. They are actually paying crazy money to buy these apartments. It's not the black money guys. In fact, the black money guys are the smartest of the lot. Because firstly, they made a lot of black money, a lot of brains. They also know how to invest well. So in fact, the customer who has black money is the smartest. He will not overpay you a bit. He will actually invest it quite well.
But then is he buying multiple apartments at low value at good prices? But he's keeping the real estate market strong by buying multiple units.
I think that segment, especially in the residential side, is now very low because of new asset classes like plotted development, which has come into play. So the black money is also finding a lot of its way into land transaction. And land is very cheap. And if plotted development works well or holiday homes segment works well, I think that is where the black money has shifted its course. Residential real estate, it's not driving as much. The valuations that you see is actually the stock market frenzy, which is driving the real. And people are smart enough to book their profits of stock and reinvest into real estate.
What's the type of bribes you guys pay?
I think I would have loved if it would have been a per square foot basis, that if you're doing a project in Mumbai, 2,000 rupiah foot dene ka. I think that would have been easier. But it's really become so discretionary that, it's very relationship driven. And I would say it's not even bribes, it's actually more of speed money that is being paid because there is so much of approvals that is lagging everywhere and the manpower resources are so limited. I think each one is doing what their entire company has done in 30 years, they are doing in last 5 years. So there's so much work that is there, and it's the same infrastructure which is supporting that work. And the system is so made that until that guy clears, it doesn't even reach the next level. So I think it's purely a play of lot of work lying to less resources, and until they clear, it doesn't move to the next level, and approvals have become very important because of RERA and everything. So I think it's a lot of speed money at play over here, which is really driving in, and it's pure demand supply, because now when there are 20 people ready to pay, it's like a IPL game where the whole bidding, even a ridiculous player is getting bid in crores because it's just pure demand supply. So I think everyone's in a race to launch quick. Everyone's in a race for fast approvals. So speed money is over the bucket.
10, 11 years back, there was a Times of India.
No, that report I've read, those numbers are nowhere close to what the reality is. I think it's good. It was a good conversation and it was a good forward.
Since 2014, because there the article was very clear that builders went to BMC saying कि आप bribe कम कर दो. Okay, मतलब they are taking it as a given कि bribe तो देना ही है. Okay. Since then, has that risen or has it remained the same or fallen?
It'll never remain the same. It'll never remain the same because they also read newspapers. They see you selling flats at 1 lakh rupee a foot. they see you, and 1 lakh rupee foot ka, there are 6-7 micro markets now where you are selling it that high. They see the kind of offers that you are giving them, and everyone feels that why are you short charging me? I'm also one stakeholder in the entire piece. In fact, the most important one who's sanctioning your project. So I think everyone wants a pound of flesh in the game. No one is noble enough of all the stakeholders that okay, I will let go of it. Everyone knows there's a boom in real estate. Everyone knows the sales are good. Everything is rising. So I think everyone wants. So, but that was decades back what was written, and that's not even remotely. Probably a tier 2 bribe maybe.
Is it true that now the typical bribe charges in Mumbai at an average are like 1,000 to 1,500 rupees per square feet?
So, see, again, I'll tell you, it's very project to project. It also depends on a lot of it depends on really what kind of project it is. They understand locations, they understand watts, they understand what kind of product you're making. You will say, okay, boss, now you're making a penthouse, you're making a 4,000 square foot home, and you're talking of a segment which is large. And then you will say, no, boss, this, like this. So, I think it's all well understood. I think
they also understand real estate.
Everyone understands real estate. That is the biggest problem of real estate right now. The sector is facing an issue where every stakeholder understands real estate. Real estate is no more a closed door secret. It is out in open. A building watchman understands real estate. I mean, we are talking of a different class, right, altogether. So I think real estate is well understood. Some of the watchmen have become brokers. They know per square foot rates. They know the products. So I think we are being in a pigeon syndrome, closing our eyes, saying no one understands. I think out in the practical world, everyone knows what is what.
Sabko pata hai.
Yeah. It's all there in the open, and I think it's pretty much there. And the problem is that while everyone understands real estate, people are not aware about the risk and challenges that are there. Everyone understands the good side of the story, or people don't understand the second side of it, that what is the risk you are taking as a promoter, what are the challenges you face, what if downside you are singly responsible. Everyone is your partner in profit, no one is your partner in losses, or no one is your partner in challenges, no one is your partner in risk. So they don't understand that you are getting all of this reward because of certain risk and challenges you are taking, which are beyond even understanding of a promoter also when he takes the project. So there are certain things which shape up after you've taken the project, and it is a whole package that you are getting because you've taken all that, and which is what you call entrepreneurship. So it is a reward for your entrepreneurship, which people don't understand. And I think that is really something that disheartens me or saddens me, because while all these stakeholders discuss these rates and teji and your product, etc., but we tell them then become our partners only. I think we'll be happier off, because if we make money, all of us make money, I'm okay. But how can the risk can be only mine and the challenge can only be mine?
So risk is of the builder, reward is shared.
Exactly. I think well put. That is exactly the problem which the industry has, and every stakeholder wants to share the reward but not share the risk. I think that is the biggest headline issue of the sector.
Tell me, all these prices that people see in the paper, okay? Whenever I look at the numbers in the papers, I find it very hard to believe, okay? And I basically observe it almost like on a street-to-street basis of Mumbai. What's exactly going on there?
So I'll tell you, recently went to Singapore, got tempted to buy a Louis Vuitton shoe, which is worth ₹1 lakh. I knew when I wore that shoe that okay, I could have got this if it was unbranded. That logo was not there, put it out, and it was a 30,000 rupee shoe or a 20,000 rupee shoe. I paid 5x or 3x or 4x because of that perceived brand value that it pulls, or the perceived brand value which others have when they look at that shoe, right? So that syndrome has come in real estate also. That I'm overpaying it. It's like that movie scene, kuch महंगा नहीं मिला तो अनार को ही मैंने महंगा कर दिया. So it is that perceived value that people are making real estate expensive. So I would not say that all transactions are thrashy. There are transactions which are even beyond imagination which have happened. It is one of these two syndromes, right? That I'm overpaying because of the brand value I perceive, or I think others will perceive the brand value of this asset. hence I'm overpaying. And second, it's that Louis Vuitton syndrome which I was telling you, where I know that okay, the value is not much, but because it's a Louis Vuitton, I'm paying so much. So there are brands in real estate now, and hence I'm paying. And brand is not necessarily the company; it is the branding of that location. I'm at Worli Seaface, hence I paid 1.5 lakh rupee a foot. If Worli Seaface will not get 1.5 lakh rupee a foot, which location will get? So customers also have that in their mindset. If it's Worli Seaface, has to be 1.5 lakh rupee a foot. What are you telling me? So it's when you enter a Louis Vuitton, you are not expecting to find a good worth 30,000 rupees. You know what you are signed in for. If you've entered a 5-star restaurant, so if you've entered a Malabar Hill, you won't be talking, "Arey, kuch 3 crore mein 2 BHK to bata." You know that there will be a 8 crore 2 BHK. So I think we have branded locations and branded companies which customers are paying for, which is good. It's like crazy rich Asians. So we have crazy rich Indians which are paying for this. But because that is existing, this has also become a marketing tool for some projects and some developers, where a project where that price is not existing also becomes a headline price, and people are made to believe that this is what is the price of this particular project. So it has become more of a derivative than the original. So the original was actually that who got paid, but someone actually thought, okay, if that is getting paid, then why can't I use this as a marketing tool?
So I keep seeing so many projects where in the papers I'm reading about it, where they give out locations and the prices. And I've gone there like a few days before and realized that's not the real price. The price is actually lower.
So as I said, it's a marketing tool which is getting used, and it has multiple benefits. And again, that was the argument which I was saying, that cash is out of the market, because people are now seeing so much more merit to market with a high price on the project. It is as if telling the income tax authorities I'm making so much money, because they see a lot more value with bankers, with future societies. I can flex to the society, right? Okay, boss, I create a product where the value of your home only goes up by 2 times. That is the value I bring on the table. So I think conversations have changed in the last 5 years dramatically.
क्या मुंबई रियल एस्टेट कभी अफोर्डेबल हो सकता है?
ऑफ कोर्स हो सकता है, 5 स्टार होटल में, कॉन्फ्रेंसेस में, पैनल डिस्कशन में और पॉडकास्ट में, और किधर भी अफोर्डेबल नहीं है. अगर हम बोल रहे हैं अफोर्डेबल है, मैंने तो किताब भी लिखी है उसके ऊपर, बट मैं आपको बोलता हूँ मुंबई अफोर्डेबल नहीं है. और उसका कारण है मुंबई के पास जमीन ही नहीं है उतनी अफोर्डेबल होने. मुंबई की जो गवर्नमेंट चार्जेस करती है प्रीमियम में, वो अफोर्डेबल नहीं है, और जो हम ब्याज भरते हैं वो अफोर्डेबल नहीं है. तो अगर फाइनेंसिंग कॉस्ट, लैंड और अप्रूवल्स के प्रीमियम्स अगर ये अफोर्डेबल नहीं है, तो प्रोडक्ट कैसे अफोर्डेबल होगा? और जहां पे ये तीनों चीज अफोर्डेबल है, वहां प्रोडक्ट अफोर्डेबल बन जाता है, क्योंकि कंस्ट्रक्शन कॉस्ट तो पूरे भारत में एक जैसा ही है. कंस्ट्रक्शन कॉस्ट ज्यादा सिटी टू सिटी फर्क नहीं देता है, बट मेन फर्क देता है आपका लैंड, मेन फर्क देता है आपका गवर्नमेंट के प्रीमियम्स. तो वो जहां अफोर्डेबल होंगे वहां अफोर्डेबल होम बनेगा.
क्या ये मुंबई के लिए एक नेगेटिव है? क्योंकि काफी अभी जो बिजनेस लास्ट 10-15 ईयर्स में मुंबई ने स्टार्टअप बूम तो मिस ही कर दिया. वो चले गए बैंगलोर, हैदराबाद, गुड़गांव भी. डज दैट मीन कि आगे भी न्यू बिजनेसेस कैन नॉट रियली एग्जिस्ट इन मुंबई?
आई थिंक मुंबई बहुत क्लियरली बता रहा है, तुम बाहर जाओ, पैसा कमाओ और फिर मुंबई आ जाओ. ये मैसेज बहुत क्लियर है. ये हमारी एक पार्टी चल रही है जहां पे एक एंट्री क्राइटेरिया है कि तुम्हारे पास इतना पैसा होना चाहिए, और वो पैसा है तो तुम आ जाओ. क्योंकि जो तरीके से प्राइसिंग पे मुंबई चल रही है, वो प्राइसिंग वही अफोर्ड कर पाएगा जो पैसा बना के आया है. पैसा मुझे बना, लोग क्या 30-30 साल निकल जा रहे हैं ईएमआई की कश्ती बनने के अंदर. तो ये मुंबई का बहुत क्लियर जो तरीके से डेवलप हो रहा है और जो वैल्यूएशंस चल रहे हैं, बहुत मुश्किल है एक नए आदमी को आना, फिर इधर पूरा बनाना करना बहुत मुश्किल है, क्योंकि उसका कॉस्ट ऑफ लिविंग ही इतना एक्सपेंसिव है. अनफॉर्चुनेटली यही है जो सच है.
अभी आपको लगता है कि दूसरे शहर बैंगलोर, गुड़गांव, मुंबई, अगर वो रैंकिंग में, आपको लगता है ये दूसरे शहर मुंबई को टक्कर दे सकते हैं?
नहीं, ये हाँ ठीक है, टक्कर तो देते रहते हैं, लेकिन मुझे नहीं लगता मुंबई को अगले 10 साल में भी कोई बीट कर पाएगा. क्योंकि मुंबई में एक स्लैक आना शुरू हो गया था, जिधर बातें आ गई थी कि आज का मुंबई कल का कलकत्ता बन रहा है, ये सब चालू हो गया था. लेकिन जो तरीके से इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर ने रफ्तार पकड़ी है, मुझे लगता है कि हमें एक बूस्टर या एक कॉफी मिल रही है जिससे जाग गया है मुंबई. और अब मुंबई जो जागा है, अगले 10 साल में आप देखोगे वापस जो एक गैप था कि मुंबई के बाद 5 स्पॉट तक कोई नहीं था, फिर एक छठा स्पॉट आता था, वो गैप वापस अब बन जाएगा, क्योंकि
तो अभी मुंबई विल बिकम अगेन लाइक अमिताभ बच्चन,
100%
1 2 3 अमिताभ बच्चन।
100%। और वो हो जा रहा, वो दिख रहा है मुझे होता हुआ, क्योंकि जो 30 साल का जो इंफ्रा आना चाहिए वो 10 साल में आ रहा है, तो जो उससे जो पुश आएगा, हम ऑलरेडी तीसरे एयरपोर्ट की बात चालू कर रहे हैं, दूसरे एयरपोर्ट में लैंडिंग शुरू नहीं हुई है और दूसरा बन गया, जो हमको लग नहीं रहा था। हम ऑलरेडी मुंबई 4 की बात शुरू कर रहे हैं, मुंबई 3 बसना शुरू हो गया। तो जो तरीके की डिस्कशन हो रही है, जो एग्जीक्यूशन हो रहा है इंफ्रा का, आई थिंक मुंबई इज इन फॉर सम रॉकेट टाइम।
कितना बड़ा फैक्टर है कि दूसरे जो इमर्जिंग शहर थे जैसे बैंगलोर, गुड़गांव, उनका इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर अभी एकदम पूरा एक्सपोज हो गया इतने बहुत ही जल्दी स्टेज पे। फॉर मुंबई हाउ इंपॉर्टेंट इज दैट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेफिशिएंसी गुड़गांव और बैंगलोर में?
आई थिंक मुंबई के जो लोग हैं ना, वो मुंबई को अलग बनाते हैं। जितना टॉलरेंस मुंबई के लोगों के पास है, जो उनका बाउंस बैक स्पिरिट है, जो रेजिलियंस है, जो परसिस्टेंस है, जो स्पिरिट ऑफ मुंबई बोलते हैं, ये वर्ल्ड में कहीं नहीं मिलता है। और वो लोग ही है जो मुंबई को मुंबई बना रहे हैं। तो मुंबई में जो भी खामियां है, पर उसके ऊपर पर्दा डाल के भी आगे बढ़ने का जो काम करता है, वो मुंबई कर ही कर रहा है। वो दूसरे शहर में इतना आसान नहीं है आपको पाना। लोग मतलब इट्स अ नेचर, इट्स अ पर्टिकुलर ट्रेड विच इज, जैसे बोलते हैं ना, ब्लू सर्कल्स वर्ल्ड में कुछ 5 या 6 जहां लोग 100 के ऊपर रह जाते हैं, तो ऐसा मुंबई में ये पर्टिकुलर वाइब है, एक स्पिरिट है, या मुंबई शहर को बनाने वाले लोग ऐसे खास है कि वो मुंबई को वैसा बनाते हैं। मुंबई में बाकी अगर आप देखो दूसरे शहर के हिसाब से, तो इंफ्रा तो एवरेज था। हमारे पास तो मेट्रो अब आ रहा है, मेट्रो तो था ही नहीं हमारे पास। हमारे पास कोस्टल रोड अब आया है, बना के गए थे कुछ 50-60 साल पहले प्लान, एक खाली एक कोस्ट ये सीलिंग बनाते उनको 30 साल लग गए। तो ये सब तो अब भी आ रहा है। अब जब ये सब मिल जाएगा मुंबई को, और लोग तो है ही, तो मुंबई कहाँ जाएगा? सो माय सेंस इज मुंबई इज अप फॉर सम रॉकिंग टाइम्स।
गुड़गांव एंड बैंगलोर कैन नॉट
नहीं कर पाएंगे, नहीं कर पाएंगे। आई थिंक मुंबई वाज caught napping, but now Mumbai has taken its espresso shot and it's up running.
अभी मुंबई के बाद द नेक्स्ट मोस्ट एक्सपेंसिव मार्केट इन इंडिया इज एक्चुअली गुड़गांव। आर यू सरप्राइज्ड विद द
As per media, as per media, I don't know on ground what the reality is. Media ये बता रहा है, papers ये बता रहे हैं, but
I spent a month there. Prices have gone up.
the thing is, they go up and they come down also so fast. If you look at the yo-yo effect, which is happening in the northern markets, is very large. It's like Dubai, where prices skyrocket, then they fall again. Do you see that yo-yo effect in Mumbai? You don't see that. Mumbai is a very steady organic growth. It's like a blue chip company. It's not like a company जिसका शेयर प्राइस 200 से 800 टच करेगा, अपर सर्किट मारेगा, फिर 200 पे गिरेगा। वैसा नहीं होता है।
I call Mumbai a large cap stock.
Absolutely.
Bangalore a mid cap stock. Gurgaon a large cap stock which still behaves like a small cap stock.
Exactly. And that is in true essence what it is. And that is why Mumbai is reliable. आज मुझे डर नहीं लगता मुंबई में प्रॉपर्टी लेने के लिए, क्योंकि मुझे पता है कुछ भी हो जाए, मुंबई का गिरावट नहीं आने वाली।
Okay, last 2 questions. अगर कोई मुंबई में घर खरीद रहा है, उसको एक बिल्डर की नियत कैसे पता चलेगी?
आई थिंक बहुत सिंपल है। नियत तो सब बिल्डर की अच्छी होती है आजकल, क्योंकि सबको ग्रोथ करना है, एक प्रोजेक्ट के लिए खुद का नाम खराब नहीं करना है। सोशल मीडिया इतना पावरफुल हो गया है कि वो आपकी 40 साल की ब्रांड को 4 मिनट में बर्बाद कर सकता है। तो वो रिस्क तो आज कोई बिल्डर उठाना नहीं चाहेगा। ही कैन नॉट गेट अवे, है ना। ये ऐसा नहीं है कि ट्रैफिक सिग्नल तोड़ दिया तो निकल जाएगा। तो आई डोंट थिंक इंटेंट वाइज एनी डेवलपर विल हैव अ रॉन्ग इंटेंट कि मैं एक बिल्डिंग से कुछ फर्जीगिरी करके पैसा कमा लूँ। ऐसा कोई सोच नहीं रहा है मेरे हिसाब से इंडस्ट्री में, क्योंकि आज काम बहुत पड़ा है और काम मिल रहा है। तो काम मिल रहा है तो सबको उम्मीद है ग्रोथ की, और ग्रोथ में कोई ये सब शॉर्टकट नहीं मारेगा ये किस्म के। बट हाँ, बिल्डर को चेक करना है आपको उसका फाइनेंशियल स्ट्रेंथ। जस्ट आस्क हिम हु हिज बैंकर्स आर। If you know the bankers of the developer, you will understand the financial health of the company. ये बड़ा सा simple litmus test है। If he is banking with NBFCs, AIFs, भाई डर जाओ। If he is banking with only bankers which are blue chip like HDFC, ICICI, Kotak, it's a very strong company.
Tell me, builders के एक इमेज है जो आपने कहा कि गोल्ड चेन, थोड़ा बॉल्ड होगा, बड़ी बड़ी गाड़ियां। I'm not saying you are that, but जब आप अभी आए थे, you came in a Thar. अब मुंबई में ज्यादा थार चलती नहीं है. Why does a builder like you take a Thar?
So there are two things. On a personal front, Thar was always my wished car, which I didn't get in college. So I fulfilled it when I had the authority to do so. But I'll tell you, on a serious note, Mumbai roads are off-roading roads. So Thar is the best, or your G-Wagon is the best car that you can drive on a Mumbai road. It's not a road for Mercedes or, your BMWs or Bentleys and Rolls-Royce. These are roads made for off-roading experience. So let us all enjoy that with Thars. I think that should be the official car for a Mumbaikar. Drive in a Thar. I had gone to Singapore recently for a real estate conference, and a friend of mine stays there, works there. He was flexing to me that, our roads have Formula One on days, and we shut Singapore certain parts. And on our roads only, that they are converted to tracks. Our roads are also able to convert into a runway for a flight in case there is an emergency and flights need to land or take off. Then that is the quality of our roads. So I said, it's not so great. Our roads convert into golf courses on a Sunday. We can actually play golf on our roads. And if you want some extraterrestrial experience in monsoon, they convert even to Mars and Moon. They look like that. So that is how roads of Mumbai are. I think I've given up on the thought that they'll ever improve. And which is why I think Thar is the best car to run on these roads.
Okay. Brokers, customers को हमेशा बोलते हैं कि home prices never fall. Do you agree?
I think the problem today is everyone wants to be a broker. It's a very specialized skill set which needs to exist. A broker is not only a person जो जाके properties दिखा देता है और बोलता है आप सामने सामने बैठ जाओ समझ जाओ. There is a lot of value add, education, counseling of the client which has to be done, understanding requirement. I think ये सब नहीं देख रहे लोग देख रहे मुझे 2% मिल रहा है, 3% मिल रहा है, लैडर वैडर 5%, 5 स्टार में इनवाइट आ रहा है, फिल्म स्टार को देखने मिल रहा है, दारू मिल रहा है, खाना मिल रहा है, चलो ब्रोकर बन जाता हूँ. ऐसे ही सैलरी में मेरे को 10 लाख तक मिलता नहीं था, 2 डील कर दिया तो मैं 15-20 लाख कमा लूंगा. आई थिंक एवरीवन वांट्स टू बी अ ब्रोकर, बट ब्रोकर इज अ वेरी स्पेशलाइज्ड बिजनेस एंड इट्स अ वेरी रिस्पॉन्सिबल बिजनेस, क्योंकि आपके भरोसे कोई क्लाइंट पैसा लगा रहा है. So I think firstly, there are a lot of broker associations. In my view, they should filter out who can practice as a broker. RERA has a licensing system, but they need to really go down heavy on this. Everyone wants to get into broking business because there's so much money on the make available over there. Straight away 2% of the sale value of a project. So आप 1000 crore का project कर रहे हो, we are typically talking 20 crore lying right over there up for the grabs. So I think that is first and foremost, most important perspective. Second is, after developer, the most optimistic B positive blood group holder is also the broker. So I think they have a same DNA genetic makeup. If you see, they are equally or more optimistic of, so it's like that supporting actor in a movie. So if the actor is in a, action role, the supporting actor also supports in that fight.
You have actually spoken about all the stakeholders. There's one stakeholder that since you're here and since I'm sure if I don't ask the question, people will point it out to me. Real estate, influencers and media. What's your view on them?
Yeah, half of them are brokers doing stand-up comedy. So it's a problem that we need to understand. This is a separate, जैसे residential and data center and your REITs, etc. These are different asset classes. वैसे influencer is a very different category which has to be there. You can't be mixing up your sale pitch into it. I mean, okay, you have an approach of selling things by doing something, but an influencer is a very different category from a typical broker. What had happened in the beginning, unfortunately, was by mixing stand-up into selling, there were these funny reels which were making an outreach, etc. And they were, I think, in my view, wrongly tagged as influencers. They were consultants only trying to make a better pitch or a better outreach. Influencers have a huge role in real estate. In my view, that is one thing which seriously, instead of doing some other form of marketing, invest a budget into working with influencers. They actually have intellectual inputs to offer. They see thousands of projects. They look at your project with a very different eye than a broker or a customer or a developer. So I think even before I start marketing of the project, I like to meet 5-6 influencers, understand their mindset, and then give them an assignment to popularize the project. In my view, this is going to be the number one most effective marketing channel, which is the influencers. That segment is out to grow and how. But it's a very serious business. It's unfortunately people have looked at it from an entertainment perspective, but it is not entertainment. It's actually a very serious marketing tool which is out there for usage.
Who are the couple of influencers you like?
I love Rafiq. I think he's extremely smart, knows his game, understands what he's doing. I would categorize you also as an influencer because you understand the game. You are not purely focused on the transaction. In fact, you don't do transactions. You understand the project. You review a project well. So I think people who are not, it's like, a research firm should not have a brokerage firm. As simple as that. If a research firm is also doing brokerage, I would say somewhere there will be dilution in the research, because then research will drive the brokerage. So some of the best data analytics firms are the ones who are not into brokerage business. CRE Matrix is not into brokerage. Lysis Forest is not into brokerage. And they are the top guys, right? It is because they have not mixed transactions into their core business.
How about consultants, real estate consulting firms who come out with reports and all?
I think somewhere they buy data from these guys only, and then they just polish it up and release it. Although they have a face which calls it as India Research Head, etc., all that. But I think they're buying data at the end of the day over here. Second, somewhere I feel if an IPC is releasing a report, research report, I don't totally think it's unbiased in my view, because somewhere down the line you are also doing transactions. And that bias creeps in, maybe not consciously, maybe unconsciously. But I think personally, data is so holy and sacred, should be kept separately from transactions and should not be mixed.
How about real estate media? I actually label myself more as media than influencer, but what's your view on real estate media?
People will hate me after this, but I think 90% of the guys don't understand real estate. Their experience of real estate has been maybe from what they've bought or etc. But I don't think they understand the regulations also. It is more like the media which we are criticizing today, which is just spreading some propaganda, some sensationalism, or catering to one audience class which likes to read one kind of masala real estate. So I think most of them don't understand what they are writing. I do appreciate a minority breed of journalists who actually take pain. I don't believe that everyone needs to know everything. It's not possible. Even as developers, I don't know a lot of things. But they take pain to verify what they are writing. They take pains to understand what it is. They take pains before they publish to reach out to relevant stakeholders, understand the whole 360-degree perspective, and then put it all together instead of just rushing in and printing it. And I think then what happens is it loses the credibility, because then it falls under the category of WhatsApp University, where, we look at it, we have a good smile, we have a good laugh, and then we're like, theek hai, to likhta hai. That credibility and honor which it carries gets lost because of these acts. So I think there needs to be some kind of training before you become a journalist, and that training is not only how to write an article, but the nuances and sectoral understanding needs to be there.
So not just writing, but even knowledge of the sector.
The technical domain knowledge is very important.
Last question for Harshul. एक चीज जो रियल एस्टेट इंडस्ट्री को बदलनी चाहिए, which can make it more likable. सब लोग बिल्डर से नफरत करते हैं, बैंकर, जुडिशरी, बायर, कॉमन पर्सन. एक चीज जो बिल्डर इंडस्ट्री कर सकती है.
I think builder should learn how to say no. जिस दिन वो ना बोलना सीखेगा ना, सब पसंद करेंगे उसको. आज वो सबको हाँ बोल रहा है और वो फंस रहा है. जिस दिन वो ना बोलेगा और वो कमिटमेंट ऐसे नहीं करेगा जो वो नहीं कर पा रहा है, वो बच जाएगा.
तो अभी बिल्डर पहले हाँ बोलता है और फिर ना करता है.
वो इतने जन को हाँ बोल दिया है कि वो एंड में वो करना भी चाह रहा है, बट वो कर नहीं पा रहा है. इट्स लाइक द प्रेशर of fulfilling everything and not being able to. So I think if we start saying a no, if I start taking projects which are only viable, then I think I will not falter and everyone will be happy with me. But in my enthusiasm, I take up a project by overbidding, or in my over enthusiasm, I take up something which I want to complete, but I'm not able to. The stakeholders are feeling bad. I think we should have that art of leaving the ball. We should learn from cricket. Not every ball is supposed to be hit for a boundary.
So currently builders only keep swiping right on Tinder.
That's what they are swinging their bat on every delivery that is coming their way. I think that should stop. We should have some well left, and that well left will do a lot well for the entire stakeholders and entire industry.
Okay. Thank you, Harshul, for coming on the show. Good luck for all your projects.
Thanks.